Well, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has released a statement congratulating Donald Trump on what he calls his impressive victory. And he said, "I appreciate President Trump's commitment to the peace through strength approach in global affairs. This is exactly the principle that can practically bring just peace in Ukraine closer. I'm hopeful that we will put it into action together." In a moment, we'll get reaction from a gathering of European leaders in Budapest with Hashem Ahelbarra. First, we'll get reaction from Moscow and bring in Yulia Shapovalova. Yulia, over to you.
Thank you, Doreen. So a widespread opinion expressed here in Russia is that relations between Moscow and the United States will remain tense, Also, Donald Trump is considered here a person who is more agreeable for talks. So basically, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has noted that the U.S. is an unfriendly country. It remains an unfriendly country, and it is directly and indirectly involved in the war against Russia. But despite that, Vladimir Putin is still open to contacts with the U.S. Moscow hopes this election would help resolve the Russia-Ukraine conflict. In the past, Donald Trump promised to end it within 24 hours. Will he order to reduce U.S. weapons supplies to Ukraine? Will he persuade Kiev to make territorial concessions or freeze the conflict? It remains to be seen, but still many hope that the negotiations between the two warring sides, between Russia and Ukraine, are possible and can resume with Donald Trump as president. Here in Russia, there are no illusions about Trump, though. Just recently, he revealed that he stopped the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. According to Trump, its construction was Russia's most important task. Moscow remembers that during Donald Trump's previous years in the Oval Office, he seemed to have nice relations with President Vladimir Putin, but Washington continued to regularly impose anti-Russian sanctions. But the fact is that during Trump's previous term, it was relatively calm in the Donbass, with a very small number of civilian casualties there, while during the Obama-Biden presidency, Russia took Crimea in 2014, and over the Biden administration, it unleashed its special military operation in Ukraine in 2022.
Okay, thank you, Yulia. Thanks for that reporting from Moscow. Hashem Ahelbarra joining us now from Budapest. So, Hashem, the big question is what Trump's win means for the war in Ukraine, which is top of the agenda in Budapest, where you are.
Indeed, Darren, if there's anyone who is excited about Trump's win, it's the Hungarian Prime Minister Victor Orban, who tweeted saying that the win is one of the biggest political comebacks in US political history. And that's for a reason, because his country holds the rotating presidency of the EU Council, and he wants to use the platform and the gathering of EU leaders tomorrow and the day after to press ahead for the key issues for him, which are basically, he thinks that there needs to be an end to the war in Ukraine through a settled agreement with Russian President Vladimir Putin, something that most of EU countries are opposed to. The Germans, the French, and many others believe that they will have to continue providing significant military and financial assistance to the Ukrainians until there is an end to the war on the terms of Kyiv. This was going to be an opportunity for EU leaders to put on a united front when it comes to key strategic issues: security, immigration, and war in Ukraine. With Trump now elected president, this is going to change many things, to the point where the French have been talking over some time about the need to have a European strategic autonomy, which is the need to put together their own security architecture without reliance on the Americans, because they do understand that ultimately, with or without Trump, there will come a president who is going to start gradual disengagement from the European continent. What are we likely to see in the future? More political divide within the EU. The Conservatives and the far right are so excited to the point where they think this could be their moment to go ahead with their own decisions in the future. The Liberals feel frustrated, sidelined, and this is the moment for them to rethink how to move forward. Doreen.
Okay, Hashem, thank you so much for that reporting from Budapest. We'll now speak to Andrei Fedorov, who's the former Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia, joining us from Moscow. Mr. Andrei, thank you so much for your time with us. on Al Jazeera. Look, ahead of the U.S. election, the Russian President Vladimir Putin said that it really makes no difference to Moscow who wins the White House. But now that Donald Trump has won, do you think that the Kremlin is pleased with this result?
No, I don't think that he will be the best partner for Russia. First of all, because still we have certain period of time before he will be officially as a president. It's only in January, and many things might happen before this. And first of all, it's clear that Trump's approach to the solution of Ukrainian crisis is not very suitable for Russia, because his main key element is that Russia should freeze the military operation, and only then talks without any preliminary conditions should start.
I mean, he has said in the past, though, but he has said in the past, though, that Ukraine should have made concessions to Putin. He's referring to the months before February 2022, of course.
Okay. No, the problem is that it was said before.
Right.
The question is what's today? What's today? Because Ukraine will not do this, Europe will not accept this, and Trump should take it as a reality. Because in the current situation, as a president in the future, coming from a president of the United States, he should take into consideration the interest of Ukraine and Europe as well. And their position is quite obvious, that Ukraine should keep its territorial integrity.
Right.
So this will be a big challenge for Trump and big challenge for Moscow.
Look, so, I mean, in Biden's presidency, it's been some would say, a fractious relationship between the United States and Russia. Do you think going ahead, are we going to be looking at the more of the same? Or do you think that Trump is going to go for more of a reset in relations with Russia as well as President Putin?
No, in Moscow, there is no expectation that Trump will change U.S. foreign policy. The main question is whether Trump will be willing to deal with Putin, to deal on an equal basis. This is the key problem, because on the case of Ukraine, it's demand from Trump that Russia should freeze its military operation. And the other thing is, of course, how if his policy on Ukraine issue will be supported in Europe or not. This is very important.
Okay, Mr. Andrei Fedorov, former Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia, thank you for speaking to us.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.